generally it's like the first one starts, the second one builds, and the third one pisses it away.
Aye.
So I think farming should be a business. I think if you want to have a future in farming, you need to be able to generate money. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you more cows. That makes you more happy.
Yeah. I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we are both
Fed by Farmers.
Hello and welcome to the Fed by Farmers podcast with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
We are back with another instalment of the podcast. We have a guest interview to come again this week. Who do we have this week, Iona?
We have Wallace Hendrie.
Wallace Hendrie from Hendrie Brothers. Very well-known local business. Probably well-known across most of Scotland. Certainly the beef farmers out there and dairy farmers out there will probably know of Hendrie Brothers. Mm-hmm. Quite a big going operation. We have Wallace in. He is quite the man.
He's great.
He is great crack, actually. He's very ayrshire. I say that quite a lot. He speaks very quickly, and there's a lot of stuff going on that he tries to tell us that even I don't really fully grasp. So I'm going to say that for the start. There's a lot of stuff happening with Hendrie Brothers, and especially Wallace, and he tells us a lot about it, but a lot of it's over my head. So, but I think it's great. He's fantastic, and good on him coming in. What else have we got to say?
We need to thank some very important people.
Yes. Thank you very much to Tracesure by Animax, who supply fantastic boluses. This is the bolus time of year. I haven't done mine yet, but I'm thinking in the next couple of weeks we're going to do them. I think we spoke about this before. I need to do them early this year. And of course to Crystalyx as well. Crystalyx High Energy is that's my go-to for pre-lambing, but they seem to like they basically send us a video they want to share on the podcast, and they've been sharing the garlics one.
Yeah.
For summer flies and this kind of stuff, helping reduce flies at pasture on the livestock from the garlic. But I wonder what the winter one's going to be. Probably back into Crystalyx High Energy. Cinnamon. Oh yeah, just a different flavour.
Nutmeg.
You do like cinnamon is a very winter Christmas. Yeah, what is their Christmas flavour? What is the Christmas?
I can't wait to find it.
Gingerbread. Crystalyx gingerbread whip. Give your cows what they need this winter. Cheer your cows up in the shed this winter. It's miserable outside. Snuggle up with some Crystalyx gingerbread whip. I've done the advert for them. Perfect. So thanks to them for the continued support. And of course, if you want to support us even more so at the podcast here, you can jump on the website at
www.fedbyfarmers.co.uk.
Who does www?
I have no idea.
You don't need to do that. I think everybody knows the website starts with that.
It's like Gavin and Stacey with Bryn.
What does he do?
He does when he works out the internet and he's like www and then he's trying to work out what it stands for. Never mind.
No, that's good. It's good. So check out the website fedbyfarmers.co.uk. Never do the www bit again. Okay. It's quite hard to say www.
I know, that's what the thing is. Why don't you just say World Wide Web? It's so much easier to say.
Oh, that was his argument.
He didn't know that's what it stood for, and he was trying to work out things.
Yes. Oh, that's the old thing. It's less syllables.
World Wide Web. Yeah.
It's 3 syllables, whereas W is 6 syllables.
No, W.
Oh yeah,
9.
W. Yeah, 9 syllables.
W is a very cleverly named letter, isn't it?
Because it is 2 U's. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what else is funny is the fact my name is only 4 letters but 3 syllables.
Iona. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
3 syllables for a 4-letter word.
Yeah, it's a terrible name.
And 3 vowels.
Yeah, of course, so it is. Mm-hmm. Iona. Is that a high scorer on Scrabble? No.
You can't use names in Scrabble.
Oh, that's right, of course. Cameron. So I have the same amount of syllables in my name as you do in yours?
Yeah.
Iona, yeah. See, that's why we went like Jock. Angus was a bit much for us.
What, do you like short names?
Yeah, you want something that you can shout at like a Doug. An interesting thing a lot of people won't realise is actually a lot of people, sheepdogs generally only have 1 syllable in their name.
Because it's easy.
So you can shout it quick.
You know what dad's sheepdog's called? This one, Obi.
Obi?
Isn't that a lovely name?
As in like Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Don't know.
No, do you like Star Wars?
He didn't name it.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get into this podcast.
Let's do it.
Here we go. And we're here with Wallace Hendrie from Hendrie Brothers. Wallace, how are you?
I am fine. Yes.
Feeling the pressure?
Feeling the pressure of my first podcast. Yes.
Is this your first ever podcast?
First ever podcast. It's not a thing I would do as a matter of course, no.
Is that right? Well, I appreciate you coming and giving us your time here. I'm surprised it is your first podcast, actually, because the type of system you run and the things you get up to makes for interesting conversation, I'm sure. Hopefully.
I know, but there's no. They think I'm a bit mad up here though in Ayrshire to do what we do, and after this spring, I do feel a bit mad doing what we do. So, yep, aye.
So what are you doing, Wallace?
Well, what we do is we graze cows outside. Really, it is this a big thing that we do, and so we've got 2 spring calving units and one autumn, but we're just starting another autumn unit at the minute. Another friend of mine. Kind of autumn block and spring block calving, really.
Okay.
But important to explain, this is dairy cattle.
This is dairy cattle. It's a thing that you do normally with sheep because they're a seasonal animal and you can just go block calving a sheep every day of the week.
Yeah.
But it gives us control over breeding and over grazing over young stock. So we're going out there with a big bunch of young stock all the same age and that kind of thing. It also means we can control the grass a lot better because it's just like sheep and cows are the same. It's about stocking the farm properly and being able to use that grass. You know, really the big thing that drives it is rotational grazing. That you're never on a paddock longer than about 1.5 to 2 days.
Right.
And then that grass is getting to rest and grow away. You're growing 20% more grass just by resting the grass that's coming behind the cows.
So what's your sort of timing with that? So you're moving them every 1.5, 2 days, and then how long before they're back on that?
Well, it depends on the time of year, obviously. If it grows faster, so we measure the grass every week, and some can be doing as far as 15 days and you're back in there, or sometimes in the spring or the autumn you can be 40 odd days, or maybe longer than that. So.
And who's measuring the grass?
Not me. I used to measure the grass. Generally, guys. So the guys who run the units really measure their own grass. So they're like I've got Gordon and Danny and Conrad and Derek at Porrick and Jeff at Millins as well. So I think it's mostly Danny and Gordon that do the measuring on the spring units, and I think Derek and James, my brother, has done the measuring at Porrick. So that's the autumn one.
So we're getting maybe ahead of it. What we should do maybe is do some numbers to start, because you're saying all these things and people might be imagining 40 cows or 100 cows, or tell us in numbers what you're working with.
Well, I work with 300 cow units, so like one guy can milk 300 cows. Like so
how many units?
24 units swing over, 26 units swing over parlours. So you can get through that within you can milk them within 2 hours roughly. So it's not too bad. So that's the system I work on. Yep.
But I mean, how many cows are we talking?
300 cows in each unit. So
but how many units? What's
there's
the totals?
3 units, and then
totals?
I'm starting a 4th unit now. A friend of mine, he's going to put in our 350 because he's got a rotary, which is a bit flash for me.
Right.
So we can go a bit more there, because you don't want to piss people off by sitting in a parlour for too long. Really, I think 2 hours milking is plenty.
Okay, so you stick to that. So you're going to have 1,200 cows, milking cows.
Yeah.
12. That'll be the biggest in Ayrshire.
I don't know if
in Ayrshire.
there could be. Well, I don't know. There's a few inside ones, or maybe bigger ones. They'll be producing more milk than I ever will, because my cows don't produce as much milk because I'm grazing. My focus is not on how much milk the cow will produce. Although Logan's telling me I should be producing more per cow, which is another next effort. We'll do near 5,000, 6,000 litres a cow. Most of the guys are housed, they'll be getting to near 10,000 to 11,000, 12,000 litres a cow.
Do you think your system's more economical?
Well, grass is your cheapest source of feed. So we're just trying to maximise what we're getting out of grass, really. And do that as cost effectively as we can. We can't alter the milk price, it's the thing we can't control. Much as farmers used to jump up and down and you get far too excited about that, so you just have to think about what can I do to control the cost of how I produce this stuff and produce it cheaper.
And how many acres are you, what's actually owned and what's rented?
It's all owned by uncles and aunties pretty much, mostly. So Uncle Robert has got Millins where we do the main spring unit. The company owns the kind of other sort of spring unit, a kind of B unit for her, which is really strange. That was really mad because there's no shed there. There's just like a parlour
outside
and a collecting area outside. There's a shed over the parlour.
Okay,
but there's nothing else outside, so that was a bit challenging because we carve them all at the one unit, and then we get a nice day in March and we wander 250 heifers across the Netherlands and start milking there, which is a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
And we go to your pal Alistair Neil at Aird, so those cows will winter at Alistair's basically.
Yeah, because you're doing another important thing I suppose to add is the fact that it's very New Zealand style thing of you're drying the cows off for winter.
At Christmas time, so they'll get dried off at Christmas. But I still milking Alistair's wee parlour, like, because we got a particularly wet back end one year. I thought, we've got the parlour started up and put an old tank in, and I started milking again. So we get about a month or 6 weeks out of Alistair Neil's parlour as well.
Do you?
Aye.
Right, okay. That's managing the whole thing must be a bit of a nightmare, is it not?
Hey, not really, no, because I've got really great guys. I mean, Danny, Gordon, Jeff, they're the guys I manage.
How many staff have you got then?
Oh, more now, because I've got 3 boys appeared back this year.
Aye.
Logan, Davey, they don't want to deal with university nonsense, so they're just come back to work really hard and get them up in the mornings and biggest job of my life right now. So I've got 2 guys on the main spring unit. Danny, he can manage his unit on his own, and then Gemma does the calves, and Taylor, as our son, she helps him with the calves. So. Because we've got kind of 2 lots, we'll have 2 lots of each calving now. So there'll be about 500-600 calves to manage at each end of the year. So yes.
And does this grass system work in Ayrshire?
I think it does. We've also done a thing with soil as well. So we're pushing pHs, everything about that. But we do calcium magnesium balances as well, and I think it makes the soil easier to work and it makes it drain better. And I've not quite getting the clover herbal lay thing because it's too wet, I think, really, for up here.
Yeah.
But,
so when you talk about your pH, you talk about putting lime on.
Putting lime on, but actually getting the calcium balances right. So
putting stuff on for that
more
as well.
calcium on, really, because you're burning calcium when you put nitrogen on. So you need to keep topping up with that calcium bit, and it makes the soil easier to work. I remember when we ploughed the fields as a boy. I didn't do any ploughing. I was rubbish at tractors. It was really bad.
When you watch someone else ploughing it?
I watched somebody else ploughing. It was so boring. Do you not find that? It's like
tractor work was me in general.
I know, but people just love tractors.
Oh, I know, it's a big thing.
Yeah, they love it.
Thank God for Cammy and the Fibber farmers, because promoting actually livestock stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's far too much tractors and the biggest tractor ever. Like Robert went to Canada to do his last couple of months of uni, and fortunately his grandpa, my wife's dad and mum knew a lot of Holstein kind of breeders in Canada, so he went to visit the Jacksons, and they had huge tractors and a biogas plant and things like that, so he got to spend 14 hours a day driving huge tractors. So he got out of his system, hopefully, or he's wanting to buy another tractor, but anyway. So I hate the tractor thing, because at the end of the day it's an our cost to what we do. We do our own silage, so I've got a guy Paddy who feeds the young beasts and all the sort of grown stock. It's kind of separate units. I have them separately, so he'll do all that through the winter, and then in the summertime I treat it like a separate cost. It's like a contracting business. We just we'll cost it out to the dairies separately, just how much silage they do. So.
And I take it you're saying different ones own it. Are they run as different businesses?
No, I've just got enterprise analysis with my farm plan, and I just do that way. It's kind of old-fashioned nowadays, but it seems to work for me.
In your silage way, you're a bit, how would you describe it? Awkward with how the silage works. You're at it all the time, are you, with a forage wagon? Or
Aye. We moved to the forage wagon.
What is a forage wagon?
Forage wagon, it's a big yellow thing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got a pickup reel at the front. It kind of chops it because it's got many knives, and it just it's like a baler without the bale, really. It just, you shove this.
It's like a big trailer with the chopper bit at the front.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's just a big trailer that kind of throws itself into
in the
it.
Right,
front.
okay.
It's a trailer that fills itself.
Right, okay.
So this is the thing, because you have no clue what that is. If If you went to Grassmen, they'd be all over that. Like,
but it's funny.
this size, how many cubes I had, how many horses take to drive that.
When you were trying to explain it there, I was thinking, how do you explain it? I was thinking as well, like, how do I actually... a trailer that fills itself.
So
But
you
big
chop
one,
the
did you buy a
silage.
big one?
This year we bought
aye.
this big thing, but it's ruined my tractors because they're like at their edge trying to work this thing. But it just meant that...
Bigger tractors need it. Bigger tractors.
Unfortunately, Logan doesn't care about tractors. So it's a wee more efficient because it holds another third more than the last one did. So you're hauling in a lot more stuff. And Robert, when he was working with the butt rake, by the time Paddy was back with the load, Robert had his thing butt raked and rolled in. But for me, the wagon thing, we had a chopper and trailers and that when James and I were younger and keener. It was just so many men like running about, like you had 3 trailers and a chopper and a run-up machine and a shaking out thing and everything was all to happen at once. And of course the chopper would start breaking down because it got older and then if everybody's standing about, you go and look at the mess of that.
Weather's a big nightmare here too.
Yeah, well, that's right. So the wagon thing, you talk about all year round silage things, which it is. So it meant that we just start a lot earlier. We start earlier because the wagon doesn't like the huge beef and sleep rows for silage. It quite likes some nice wee leafy stuff, and it makes a better job of chopping it then. So we just start earlier, and that gives us that window that, if it's pushing the day, we don't need to go to the silage today. We can go to another day. There'll be another day.
Come and do
Good day
a
will
podcast
come.
instead.
Come to no, I'm not involved
Miserable-
with the silage. No, I'm
miserable
staying
day out
over. Yeah, miserable day. Don't want to be doing silage today. So we did the silage at the weekend. Davey was moaning the silage. It's always at the weekend, Dad. Why did I not get a weekend off? I'm always working it. Just but yeah, it means we're at it all summer. But there's only 2 people or 3 people involved with it, so it's not a massive drain in everybody's time and resources. So, like the dairy guys do the dairy stuff, and the tractor guys do. I think in terms of health and safety, for me, it was just always better keeping that separate. I've got a lot less accidents and whatnot since I've
Stick to what you know as well.
livestock
Yeah.
guys, I mean, I don't know if you're like me and a tractor's a disaster area. Like there's a shed roof gets caught with a trailer or there's something.
I don't know if you've seen my pickup at all, but it gets some abuse. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got, is it 4 boys you've got?
I've got 4 boys,
Four
yes,
boys,
yes.
so-
2 older ones and then the twins at the end up. They're just nearly 17, so they're trying to get their driving test so I don't need to drive them everywhere all the time.
And what's their situations? What are they all?
Oh, right. So Robert did business and marketing at Edinburgh and then he went to do his last term at Canada there in Toronto. He did a couple of terms there and then he's back home wanting to do stuff and push on and get stuff done. So with that, Alexander, he's at a business and agriculture course at Newcastle.
Right.
I feel it to be controversial. I'm not a big lover of SRUC with dairy in Scotland. I think it's all about big sheds and stuff, and it's not enough about the numbers and actually how it produce cheaper milk. So I just wanted them to get somewhere else. And the Scottish Government thing about, Robert, 2.5 days a week at uni, what is the point of that? It just learns folk to be lazy and everybody gets fed up. The college lecturers, they're all leaving because they're not got enough days at uni. Like, what's the point of that?
So SRUC, they only do 2.5 days?
Aye. Well, no, he did a business in marketing. It wasn't SRUC.
That's why you said don't go there.
He was at
Yeah.
Napier.
Okay.
But they're all the same. I don't know if SRUC maybe do longer days.
Yeah. But you mean some of these ag courses you're talking about? Is
The
it?
ag courses,
Yeah,
I just find they're no for... I think farming should be a business. I think if you want to have a future in farming, you need to be able to generate money. And you can't have succession if you don't have cash to pay every day out and to pay the bills and to do other thing. So I think, to me, it should be a business. And that's kind of what I've brought to my business.
Reduce the risk of fly strike and livestock irritation at grass with Crystalyx garlics. Flies and midges are a constant pest to livestock throughout the summer and are responsible for diseases such as summer mastitis, pink eye, blue tongue and Schmallenberg. No repellent is 100% effective in the fight against airborne biting insects. However, Crystalyx garlics can play an important part in reducing the number of flies that land on livestock. Containing concentrated garlic extract, 5 times more potent than pure dried garlic, Crystalyx garlics offers a natural defense to biting insects, with the high sulfur compounds in garlic acting as a natural insect repellent. with a full complement of vitamins, minerals, and trace elements. Crystalyx Garlics balances the known deficiencies in forage while stimulating the rumen for enhanced animal performance. Make the switch this summer to research-proven Crystalyx Garlics.
Yeah, speaking of paying everybody out in succession and all that, you said you're at 4 units now.
Yeah.
But obviously you're in with your brother as well, so I mean, succession's got to be a big thing with your thing, because I mean, you're called Hendrie Brothers as a business, but you're not actually the original Hendrie Brothers. You're the boys of the Hendrie Brothers.
This goes back
to your
so
father,
we
or does it
started
go beyond that again?
At Drumdrock in 1776.
I bet that doesn't go back to that far, does it?
The brothers doesn't. No,
No,
the official
no.
brothers kind of started. Oh, there would be brothers before that. This was a limited company then. So I don't know how many brothers worked together for how long. But anyway, the original Hendrie Brothers started in 1940 something, and it's been. So it was my dad's dad and the 2 brothers, and they worked together.
Yeah,
and they were bigger into the cattle dealing thing, as my dad was, and his brothers were more into cattle dealing. It just so happened to. Because you could buy farms lock, stock and barrel, then they would just go and buy a farm and sell on the stock, and put somebody else would get into farm, and then they would sell them stock, and it would just all go on like that. It was kind of nuts.
But like, where did all the money come from to get to that point for them?
Well, I thought it must have been the bank.
But like, I take it just because they were. I mean, there's 3 of them, right? So there's 3. Is that right?
There's 3 original ones.
Aye, so I suppose that's quite a strong.
Well, they've been here since 1776, so they're gonna. I mean, I tell you, in 1843 there was a bill came from Drumdrock to Massachusetts, some pedigree bull or something. It was in the herd book in Massachusetts, so.
Right.
It was like
from you guys,
from us guys.
Aye.
So they'd obviously been at it a while. So they must have been all right at that.
Aye.
Aye,
and it built up. Obviously, so it was a strong firm. And
I don't know about strong, but it was just.
It sounds like. But you're obviously got the pressure. I've got to keep that moving
well,
forward.
that's the challenge. I think I did a Nuffield scholarship back in 95. So I'd studied succession in the family business because I was going to do some lame topic like dairy management or something. And the guy said, I thought you've got a succession issue coming down. So I ended up doing succession, which is a bit of an old chestnut in agriculture, but it's a hugely important one, and it was one
forever
that's
be important. It'll never go out of date. Succession.
Aye, it does
because it just comes round all the time.
So it's hard. So generally, it's like the first one starts, the second one builds, and the third one pisses it away. Aye. So we've come through the other end of that cycle. But we've come through our own tough periods as well. Post BSA, we struggled as a business, and with like 3 buyers and 2 cubicle shapes, it was quite old fashioned, making a lot of hay and stuff. So James and I had to kind of change that and just start and move that on. So it was about 2010, I think we started the grazing thing.
Yeah. And what caused that? Like, what was it coming off? No, that was before that.
But before that, well, you have to think about where we came from. So, like, it was all like the pink sheets and the blue sheets and subsidies and stuff. So, like, had hundreds of cattle dealers with hundreds of bullocks come off a Rossi, and we'd all round them up, and you'd get climbing the blue sheets and the pink sheets. You get
£100. Pre-passport dates.
This was your. Did you know? Are you 2B?
No, I'm 2. I remember
that.
I'm just a boy.
I used to take all these pink sheets into the department to air, and they would give you £100 for just giving them one of these pink sheets.
£100 a sheet?
£100 per sheet. So when an animal raised, it got to 8 months.
Oh, is this like a old beef calf scheme
beef
thing?
calves? No, it was like for keeping a suckle calf, you got 80 something quid,
right,
which is a lot in 1990, whatever, 80 something. You got 80 something quid for this blue sheet. And then when you've got it near a finish, I think 22 months, you got a pink sheet. So then as soon as they hit that date, it would qualify you to do your wee claim. So you sent your claim into the department, and then she'd done us our claims and stuff, and that was great because that was actually the only time you ever made money, as far as I was concerned. So I'm really crap at fattening beasts as well, I've discovered. That was all how you made money, was these pink and the blue sheets. Aye. So we'd done us of that going on for ages, and we'd all drive about with bikes, shouting and slaving all these beasts that just come off the hills, and they were all everyone like total mad, flattening the fences and all that nonsense. So that was where we came from, and because we had to shut down the buyers' dairies when we started out, and kind of built up the 2 kind of cubicle units. My uncle's at Malins and my dad's at Burra. And that's where the dairy hangs. But you had quota, so you milk quota at that time, and it was very expensive to do more dairying to buy milk quota or lease milk quota. So we didn't do that. We just built up the arable thing, and I bought a mountain at one time because I didn't know enough subsidy. Because my extensification, I made myself more extensive.
Oh, yeah.
If I had
By buying a mountain?
more acres, by buying a mountain.
What mountain did you buy?
It was in Dunoon. It was up at, God, I'm getting really old.
Do you still have it?
No, we sold it to the neighbour.
Right.
It was like half the backside of the mountain because the sheep, as you well know, were hefted to the house. So it's 600 ewes with it, and the contract shepherds kind of geared it in and did all that stuff. And then he would swap sheep at clipping time and this kind of jazz. So with other sheep. But it got me a lot of money for extensification premium, which I was losing out on.
Really?
And it was weird. I always think you've got to put an idea out there. Because I went to my cousin, he was a lawyer in Mauchline at the time, and I says, if ever like a bit of ground comes up for sale, I'd be up for that, for a bit of cheap stuff, a bit of rock or something. And that, because that would get us premium. And then a year or two later, this guy came to her from Dunoon to Mauchline to sell this bit of ground. And I'm going like, I'm right up for that. It's a perfect job. So, and it was cheap as chips because it was just a bit of rock and you couldn't plant trees. And trees weren't even a thing then.
Yeah. The good old days.
But then the guy bought the hill next door and he was really, really rich. And he was wanting to put a fence up, plant trees on it. But he was going to have to put a 1.6 mile fence up the middle of the hill.
Double height.
And I said, that first for sheep, like I could just sell you my hill. So I just sold it because the grant thing was buy with it.
Buy with it.
Yeah.
Aye. And did you make a turn on even just that, the price it?
The
When the neighbour
No,
wants
it
it,
was
it's always
great.
dearer,
He
isn't
was
it?
dearer and he had loads of money and they thought it was cheap. So it was cheap.
No wonder you're so chipper.
But that got us into the dairying thing, so it helped us get a start.
And that's that extensive thing I talked. Is that kind of like what they've got in Ireland now, where you have to have so many acres per head? Was it
No.
that?
It was purely a subsidy thing,
Right, okay.
Because they didn't include the heifers in your count towards your subsidy. So the blue sheets and the pink sheets that I had, you get an extra extensification premium on the top of that.
I see.
If you had more
'Cause you're banging all
acres,
these cattle
you weren't too highly stocked. But they didn't count the heifers. But then one year, some guys decided you had to count the heifers towards the stock intensity. So they were too so stocked by that time.
Yeah.
So
This is back when it was headage payments.
This is back in the headage payments for everything.
Oh, so are these pink and blue slips part of the headage payment thing? No, that's just
They're
a
not
beef.
your
That's
beef suckler coup premium. It's a separate thing
Totally
beyond
different.
that. Aye. So
all sorts of things in the go.
it was all nuts, and it was very bad because the Australians, New Zealanders frowned on us. You go to these Nuffield conferences, they're like, oh, you UK people, you have subsidies and blah blah blah. But they don't have to deal with all the funners of people. These poor English people have got to deal with down south. You go to Manchester and try to farm down there, and you've got a wee village and can't spread Slurry there because there's such and such a buddy says you can't do that.
Yeah.
They don't have to deal with that nonsense.
Yeah, no, they did. There's big things. Speaking to guys with like extensive sheep farms as well, you can just 10,000 sheep, let them work away. You can't get away with that here. Like if there's bits where the folk of the public are walking, like over Facebook, any issues, it's all over Facebook in a second. Oh,
You could do it where I was.
All the dogs are running
Arden
loose.
Tunney, that's where the Howitt Mountain was.
What was it?
Arden Tunney.
Arden Tunney.
So it's quite quiet up there.
There you go.
Lots of midges though.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Did you ever
midges
see
like-
the sheep?
Yeah, once or twice. I went up to guard sheep, I helped them with sheep and roll stuff, and drove the gator up the top of the hill.
Just to tick it off the bucket list.
Aye. I didn't do shooting. I should have done deer stalking or something like that because you could have done that up there. The wee guy next door was doing a bit of that. I never did that, which was annoying.
And talking about sheep, I wasn't going to get into sheep this fast, but why have you not got any sheep winterers on?
Because if I do actually at the autumn unit park, we've got my neighbour. He's got sheep on there.
Right.
They're off before Christmas time. So it's just a matter of tidying up the grass. On the spring units, however, I want to get my cow out in March, and I can't get them out in March if there's no grass left.
If the sheep's had it.
Sheep's ate it.
Because I was thinking, when you're talking about your first cup being quite big, your sheep would help you with that, but ideally you want to actually get the cattle on the grass.
I want to
where
get the cattle
can.
on the grass and eat the grass.
We had them out in February. Maybe not last February. The February before, was it? You had them out?
No, I've not really been out in Feb. Oh, maybe I'll get them out in the odd day in February, but not full time. Going to the Netherlands and we're full time grazing.
Yeah. No, it's quite impressive.
How was your Nuffield scholar?
How was it?
Yeah, did you
Well,
enjoy it?
I was like effectively a baby Nuffield because I was like 25, so I had a
Okay.
clue, and I'm studying succession, like, which is like quite a mature topic to deal with. But I think in terms of where I'm at today, like I come home, talked about succession with the old boys, and get rid of the door. Like, you're not coming here telling us what to do. And you've got to appreciate where they were. I just had met my then girlfriend, Isla, with no kids, and so they couldn't see a succession. But at the same time, they didn't want to talk about it. So that was hard. But I come home with more confidence because I'd seen a lot of businesses doing a lot of different things. And then, so when they said, when we had a tough year in 1998, James and I said, well, we came up with a day here, and we just got in and did it. And I think it's about, if you can get management control early on, like we're a young guy today, want to get a start, and do things differently, and that's, and it's hard making that transition, but you've got to step up and do it. You've got to actually get your cojones geared together and get on with it. And that's, I suppose we did that, James and I. It was good because I've worked with my brother, Hendrie brothers. We get to work together. It's a good laugh with me, your brother. If you get on,
I was going to say, if a lot of folk listening to this, I couldn't think anything worse.
But we rip the piss out of each other all the time. And I suppose James is a good listener because obviously I talk a lot. So it's good for that. It's a Nuffield thing, though. The Nuffields I've noticed talk a lot. They need to change their interview thing because it's like we just average talks all the time. So.
Aye. It's always a thing that people manage to slip in at some point as well, doing in Nuffield. You did all right. I think you were about 6 minutes in before you mentioned it.
Right.
The fact you'd done Nuffield.
Right.
You've always got to drop it in.
Oh, we do. It's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
I want more people to do Nuffields, to be fair, because it is, I said it just gave me the confidence, and I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing today without having done it.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Because it's like you see.
I wanted the confidence to just go, further, I'll tell you what to do. I just went on groove. I hadn't really proved myself. Really. You need to find the confidence for somewhere.
You're saying about these young boys coming through, your sons, and they're, talk about, I think, Logan there, you were saying, Logan's actually sitting behind the camera, folks. Scotland International.
Shy.
Scotland International now. Under 21s, was it? Under
18.
Under 18s. We'll see him in the Six Nations next year. Lost to Italy the other day, right enough. Heartbreaking. Beat Ireland, though. Beat Ireland, quite impressive. Proud father. But you're talking about these, Logan's wanting milk yields up, and they've all got the right.
Well, he likes coos, so he always showed. He's got a few years, loves coos.
Aye, that's
his
probably
grandpa
that's the most important trait you want for your job.
Exactly.
But are you letting them go on and tweak things? Like, if he says to you, what about doing this?
He's just starting, someone.
So that's a no then.
That's
a no.
Well, he's fingering it and do it. If you're spending 4 days a week training, it's hard to. He's so tired all the time. Young folk are so tired now. I was as tired as that. It's like, is this a new
Do you
thing?
think the difference is that, like, I feel is that we're just tired all the time, so you don't really notice the difference. Whereas he has moments of vigour.
Right, yeah.
So he feels the difference. Whereas we don't have any moments of vigour.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, you're probably 10 year older than me, Mayor, maybe.
More.
Aye. But it's like, the moments of vigour are gone.
Right.
They're gone.
No,
but these young folk still have them.
I still have moments. I love it.
Yeah, Wallace is bigger.
Yeah, no, you keep telling me. Yeah, so you've got the right mental attitude.
You have to have that.
If you lie to yourself, you believe it
It's
eventually.
Aye.
It's like me thinking about aches and pains.
Your body is actually fine if it's fine.
Aye.
Daddy's always tell me, it's on the head. After that rang me.
Aye. There's ''Tis but a scratch'.
Tis
To
but a
quote,
scratch.
what was that again? Blackadder. With the knight. Remember that? Knight's got his legs off. It's ''Tis but a scratch'. So talk about other kind of funky stuff you're into. I don't know if it's that funky right enough, but because I phoned Ali before you were coming down, I says, Ali, what's he up to that I could ask him? And he said you're building one of these big lagoons.
Building a lagoon, yes. Yeah. So we got the Scottish Government grant this year to build a lagoon. So
I thought that grant was a wee while ago. Is that still on the go?
Oh, it was on March, so the application finished in March,
right,
but
okay.
that takes them forever to decide when we can get it or not. So we got that, and it lets us have 6 months storage over the whole business. So this is.
So what is it? What is the lagoon?
It's just like you basically dig a hole and put a slurry, line it and put
line
slurry
it
in.
Put
Is that
slurry
right?
in it, but fencing about it.
Yep.
And then it will slurry.
And you'll just cart slurry.
We'll
from
pump
other
it
bits.
from Borough because product of the autoimmune, it's the bit that struggles for storage. So
Right, okay.
we just bump it up to there.
And what's the big bit, apart from the fact, well, maybe just the fact there's a grant on it, why would you do that over, your traditional slurry store?
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah, that's the only reason. There's no other big benefit.
Because it gathers more water, which is the downside to a lagoon, because you've a lot more surface area to get the rain.
Okay.
So
it fills faster, but then you've got so much area, it doesn't matter.
You have so much area, and the pumps nowadays, David Strauss comes out with his big new pump thing. That's amazing, self-propelled, phenomenal. You can switch to cell with remote control, pump slurry out to the thing, phenomenal.
Right, for the umbilicals.
Right,
okay.
Oh, it's the future.
It's like one of these big mixing things on it too.
No.
Is that a separate job?
It just soaks it out and spreads it down the pipe.
But I take it a lagoon, you'll need one of these big whisks.
I need to get if our contractor David Laird comes in with the preller thing, and that stirs it up.
Right, because I seen one online. I think it's like a wee thing that floats on the slurry. Have you seen this thing?
Oh no,
some mad thing. No,
well, Jimmy Smiley made one of them with three like all bits of oil drums,
right?
And on a wee, and that was connected to a propeller and some drums and a blow floating about in the top,
and it would just go
and
about.
The wind would be making it start. How successful it was, I don't know. I can't comment. I never had one myself.
Aye.
I knew they were there back in the day though. That's
aye. Hey, we need pioneers. There's a lot
we
of them.
We do need a lot of them. Aye.
So you've got your slurry lagoon. What else you up to? What about this biomass? Always remember your big, massive biomass things.
Oh, we did the biomass thing. We didn't get all kicked off. We've got biomass boilers, and we dry our own wood chip as well.
Aye.
For the biomass boilers. So.
Is biomass still? It's not really a thing anymore, is it?
It's not cool. I don't know if it's cool anymore, but it's the agreement's there for 20 years, so it will see me out till I'm 65 or whatever. So I'll be fine.
Is that right?
Heat my house. I can keep a nice warm house and yeah, it saves a bit of heat in the dairies and that. But oil never went to the oil's going to go to, but it never actually did. So I don't know if it's made that much sense. It's quite expensive to keep and things.
Yeah. And what about the solar job?
Oh, I started a lot of that because I stuffed up my what do you call it, power contracts. I went nuts with the solar there 2 or 3 years back.
What do you mean stuffed up with the power contract?
Well, I got on a really power contract.
You mean just normal off the grid?
Off the grid,
Aye.
really horrible contract. I'm not going to embarrass myself by telling you how expensive it was, but it was really bad. And so I did loads of solar to compensate for that, and I did a wee battery thing, but I don't like the battery so much. It's expensive. But yeah, so that's to try and help out the power.
Yeah,
prices.
so that won't actually, you'll use all the power, I take it.
Not all of it, no, because the challenge is you can't use it all when it's there. So
hence
the
the
challenge
battery.
is using it. It's like we cool the milk through we've got ice builders, so we'll cool, actually the most power's taken in cooling the milk, so
right.
We'll build iced water through the middle of the day, so that thing, it's like effectively a battery of ice that we use at milking time, and it goes through the plate cooler and cools the milk.
And who's your milk contract with?
It's Muller, so
Right.
they're very good.
Oh, Miller
because-
get a shout out now and again.
Yeah.
Who was speaking? Who's last in doing Miller? Who's our last? We had a dairy farmer recently.
Yes, we did really recently.
Absolutely shocking.
That's awful.
Actually, who
Andrew
was the
Welsh.
recent? Andrew Welsh,
Yes.
of course.
Yes,
My God.
Yes,
he was
it
on.
was.
Sorry,
James
Andrew,
was
Yeah.
forgot
telling
about
me-
you there.
Yeah.
James is telling me Andrew was on. Yeah, Andrew's a big Miller come up man. Yep. And
Have
they've
you always
great
been
with us.
Miller?
No, we were first milk until they so stuffed up my electricity contract again 1 year. I'm going, why am I doing this with this mob? And it just, I moved away. But first milk are doing really well now. You know, it's it was just a thing at the time we moved away.
I was speaking to somebody the other day. There's a big dairy farm for sale, well, near both of us, I suppose, in between both of us, up at Craigie Way, that's up for sale. And I was talking to somebody about that, you know, it'd been on the market for a wee while. It's a big thing that it's hard to buy a dairy. Tell me if this is right, because this might not be for the whole country, I don't know. The issue maybe with like a big dairy unit is that it's hard to get the milk contract. Is that right?
Aye, that's the challenge. In Ayrshire, it's not necessarily a UK thing. I think
right,
if you're
it's-
in roundabout Lockerbie and below there, you can get a contract. But I think if you're up here, because they've got to move all the milk down to England, it's where all the customers are. There's not enough customers in Glasgow for all the milk that we can produce here.
Right.
So
And is one fact that we have so much milk here? Like there's no demand for it here, or just because literally is because
it's a
it's
freaking
awkward?
good place to produce it.
It's
Like we
amazing.
grow grass for fun, like,
Okay,
and it's
aye.
not that warm. Like I've been to a lot. We went to our discussion group went to Holland 1 year, and then we went to Sussex another year, and it was too warm, and it's just like, and there was problems with nitrates, and
burns
there
the
was
grass
this
off and-
all this stuff. And we're going, oh, thank God we don't farm there. It's actually really good farming there. So we think, oh, it's about it rains all the time, blah, blah, blah. And we get dead moaning because it's not warm enough. But actually, the cows don't want it too warm, and the grass doesn't like it too warm either, quite frankly. And
No.
I'm ginger, I don't like it warm either. So that's like,
True story.
it's absolutely
I nobody wants shearing sheep in the heat either. Listen, I'm all for
Exactly.
it's actually becoming a recurrent. I think it's the third podcast in a row where we've mentioned how amazing it is to farm in Ayrshire.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a big advocate of it.
I'm
I've-
a big Ayrshire person, so wait for it.
I think we are, and generally speaking, looking around the country, we've said this before, but it'd be good to get your take on it. Land prices aren't too bad here compared to some places.
I wouldn't don't tell every day. But
No, I know,
sorry.
I know. Well, like speaking of, are you buying farms? What's your next
Well,
thing?
I've bought a farm recently, yes.
No. So because there's obviously a bit of gossip going about. I suppose this would be a good place to just clear it up. There's a lot of gossip going about Barward farm.
Right.
I hear, are you the boys that have bought that?
Well, possibly, yes. Don't know. Just try to get it over the line. But
Yeah, no, I think it was strongly contested from what I hear, because everybody was touting meat because they're thinking, it's right in my kind of price bracket.
Right.
It was on that kind of £1 million. Great wee unit. I mean,
and a lovely wee what's worrying me about it is never it's just so tidy. It's the tidiest bloody farm I've ever been on. Like everything's whitewashed, the close is all clean.
Yep.
And I don't know how tidy these boys are going to be. Keep it tidy.
Yeah.
So I'm
It's all downhill from here, you mean?
That's basically what I'm saying. With too many words, but yeah, it's the thing that's worrying me about it right now. Aye.
Aye. No, but that's interesting. What about the fact it's quite near the town? That was my worry when I looked at it.
Aye.
But right for coos. That was my
I've got
thinking
a
for
farm
sheep.
at a Burris near the town, and there's less folk about to farms now than there was, and we don't make high on air, and nobody's going to set the place on fire. Everybody's on their phones now. Who's going to want to walk about the countryside nowadays?
You're probably not wrong there.
I know, it's true.
Well, you used to get the old boys
true.
out with the dog, the lurchers, and they would go for a walk, and if you tell them to go away, they would want to fight you and things like that. So we don't get things like that. Everybody's so quiet now and gentle and
Aye, that's the other thing. So
congratulations
on that.
Yeah, it was
then
a big,
as well.
big thing for the farm.
And, what age are you?
I am 54.
54. What age is James? Your
He
brother?
is 50 this year.
50, right. So it's a big thing for you thinking forward. We've touched on succession there, but it's such a big thing all the time. In fact, it's a big thing for you thinking forward, the fact you're still growing. And
Well, the
growing
boys, like 3 boys appealed to him. And as much as I've tried to get them to do something else, they're just still going like, it's quite going to be farmers. Tough you.
You obviously make it enjoyable enough. That must be a big thing.
I don't know about that. But I suppose I'm an exponent of agriculture. I think if you can have a nice life out it, we don't be millionaires, but you can have a bit of fun in the process. And just get on. Aye.
Oh, like for me, it's the... there's a lot of money goes about in farming, obviously. It's your enterprise, you talk about huge numbers going about all the time. But it's really not about that. It's more like, but I can tell the way you're talking, it's more about the challenge of it, the fun of it, the being outside, trying to do something better. Having something, try to make it
Don't
better.
get me wrong, it's no perfection what we do. Like, we're never going to be like...
No, you're
like,
grazing cows outside in Ayrshire. It's a disaster, but it's great that you have the positive mindset just to not see that.
It's not me that's doing it half the time. It's the boys that are there.
That sounds easier. Boys phoning like that. This muck. I'm like, just wipe it out. You'll be fine. Don't look at it. You'll be fine.
So I send one of my boys out to give them a high on the milking. But it's the same with the new one. So hopefully the new one, the young guys got in there. He'll get a share of the cows as well. So he'll get to build his wealth.
So you do a bit of that share?
That's the first time we've done that. So
this is with Barward, is it?
No, in Barward, that's another farm we're putting on it, Craigiemeans.
Oh, yeah, I heard that one as well. Yeah.
So what's the setup with it?
Well, the farm owner has the farm. The farming partners guy, they'll do a lot more of that. This is the first.
Yeah, but it's a similar thing. So this is the rotary you're talking about.
Aye.
Yeah.
So Graham has got a great setup, and he's just got two health issues, and he was needing to take a wee step back, and I says, well, Graham, I could do someone else here and just sell everything up. So he was, this is brilliant. So he gets to stay in the farm and do what he wants to do, and because he's got a wee arable thing, and his grass arable stuff's fantastic, but just. Cows in now the time, completely different way than I would do it.
Yep.
And it makes for a very busy life and a lot of stress, which I don't like. So,
having cows inside, you think? Makes for a
For
busy,
me,
busy life.
well, look, I'm not going to get into this debate because I'll be the
Okay,
pariah for being a bad person.
I'm playing devil's advocate here because I'm thinking like the boys that have the cat in the shed all the time will think you've got a busy life. Measuring bloody grass
measuring
and moving
grass,
electric
moving
fences.
Aye.
Uh-huh.
Oof, how hard is that? Like, far better to get a full of feed wagon up with a dirty big load than whatever else.
Some would say.
Some may say. So yeah, I just like it's all about graze as much grass as we can. So we want to switch that wagon off. We get the summertime and the autumn thing. We're doing an autumn unit there. Again, part of that's because Muller don't want too much spring milk. So if we're doing, I thought, how are we going to do? So if we're doing our autumn unit, it lets us increase our autumn milk and balance out the spring milk that we have, so we've more of an even profile.
But me, I'm just, obviously I don't know very much about dairy at all. But when you're talking about an autumn unit, you talk about calving in the autumn.
Calving, yeah. So we start middle of August and then through to middle of October.
But then, so when you then drying those cows off that are milking then?
Drying them off in June, July. Yeah.
Oh, so they're milking through the winter?
They're milked through the winter. So the nice thing about them is actually that you're putting all your effort, make all the best silage at the autumn unit. So we start our long summer silage season and the autumn units that we make the best silage there. So they're getting really good stuff when it gets to, because the spring each year a wee bit more room, because by that time the cows are well through their lactation.
Yeah, so your spring units are very much the New Zealand style off for Christmas, and then these autumn units are more, they'll be in the shed through the winter.
They're all in the shed. It's their stuff. We've got to put them in a shed, pretty much.
Yeah. But they're milking, they're in a shed.
They're in full milk. So you're controlling their diet and try to do the best you can for them and get them plenty of milk. And it's actually the young stock are easier there as well, because if you imagine you take that calf born in August, you feed it all the nuts and the feed and everything, which is the most efficient time to feed a calf, lots of stuff. So
when it's first born or that
when
time
it's
of
first
year?
born, you can chop the milk powder on the cake at it then, and I think it's a bit more efficient. It's got to that time, so you can really have these young beasts looking really great. By the time they get to grass time in March, they're quite a big animal that's ready to eat grass. So chop them outside and don't feed them any more feeding, and they just eat grass. It's fantastic.
Aye.
And they just grow and a lot less effort. The spring calves are harder because obviously they're just newly born and they're just newly weaned and stuff. You've got to, take a bit more finicky managing the grass. Getting them onto grazing grass is harder. But the autumn units are quite easy. But
most forages don't supply sheep and cattle with enough cobalt, copper, iodine and selenium, critical to digestion, immunity, reproduction and growth. When it comes to supplementation, there's a danger of under or oversupply. But when bolusing with Animax Tracesure, you can be sure every animal has enough for up to 6 months in one single application. Animax, giving what it takes.
Yeah, I just the whole management of it seems mind blowing to me, because I think you're talking the same number of dairy cows milking as almost the same number as I'm running breeding sheep, and it takes a bit of managing with grass and tupping and moving around and all the stuff that's involved with that. But doing it with dairy cows over so many units is impressive. But then bigger team. But
you've still got one guy responsible for his unit or two guys responsible for their unit. So that's their focus. They're no like the spring units. We're not calving autumn cows on the spring unit. They're just calving at one time, AIing at one time, and then drying off at one time. So they've got that ebb and flow to their unit in quiet times and really busy times. I don't have anyone else doing a split block.
Aye, they all know their job in their bit. And a bit of a random one here, but obviously Hendrie brothers, quite handy. I think there's 5 boys between you and your brother, is that right?
Yeah.
Is there any last? Do you just throw boys?
Well, no, we just throw
calves?
boys. So Porrick, Anna, James's daughter, is the first girl at Porrick for about 3 or 4 generations. It's just like they just they just have boys there. Just 2 boys.
Just a random anomaly. What, it's a miracle?
She's a miracle. So it's just very cool. She's going to be a optician, I think so.
Right, okay.
So that's
good gig. You do a bit. You deal with them sometimes, don't you? You've got contact lenses.
Yeah, go to an optician.
Yeah.
Well, lots of people do come here. So
I know.
Have you never been?
Like, I must have been eye tested at some point. I would think.
You should go.
Police as an eye test.
You should go because glaucoma is a thing. So you're going to need to. Your age now. You get to.
What, 34? Glaucoma?
Yeah.
Glaucoma?
Well,
Is that,
no,
is,
it's more in the sort of later. So it's more
what's the thing we need? Cataracts. Is that glaucoma?
No, that's
cataract,
later
yeah.
on. Cataracts
right.
is a way different. By glaucoma, you get in your 40s, you're kind of, the earlier you check your eyesight, the better.
All right, okay. We'll get it right.
You just go to
You make me want to
opticians
go now, aye.
You should go.
and Galston or wherever else you want to go. There's lots of them everywhere.
Right, ask Wallace what he's doing for the future then. Go with that.
Wallace, what are you doing for the
What am I
future?
doing for the future? Jeepers. Well, I did try sailing. It was rubbish. I've passed all my tests for the sailing, but I'm rubbish at it.
It's not about not making any money again, but he's buying a yacht.
I did buy it. I was this catamaran thing. We went to the Yorkshire Master and Norfolk to pick up this thing. Because the other mate, I've gone, the catamarans are great things, but it's really too fast. And I just,
Is it?
it's just terrible. So we took there, and a wee gust of wind blew it over upside down in the middle of Lamlash Bay. With the two holes in
the Americas, they do the race thing. Is it that? Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, it's just a wee thing you tie in the back of the pickup. It's not a big one, but it's still, I counted it upside down, which is really bad. And I did my back in because the sail was too big to pull up. So that's like, no, it's not a super yacht.
Okay, so sailing, not if what about buying more farms? You hungry for it?
Well, we're always up for a bit of, if it's local, I suppose. We're not up for the going travelling hundreds of miles.
No more mountains in Dunoon.
No more mountains in Dunoon. It was fun. My Uncle John was going about at the time, and he loved it, getting up there in the chat with the sheep guys and collecting the wool and all that sort of thing. It was a nice thing at the time. Took us out our comfort zone a wee bit.
And do you have this kind of thing, like I've got this mad thing where I just always want more sheep? Like, I don't know, I just enjoy
Well, we
it.
are about cows. It's all about cows for Hendrie.
But yeah, but I mean, do you want more cows? Like,
we like cows. We just do the more cows.
Yeah.
Why would you
want to milk more cows all the time?
I said it about my dad's funeral. I said that. It says, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you more cows. That makes you more happy.
Yeah.
So it's good.
That's why when I get so mad, because I take out any money the sheep game makes and buy me a sheep with it.
Why would you not?
Yeah, no, so she's scrabbling about trying to find her wages every month.
Yeah,
but we've
Oh.
got these sheep.
Could you not pay wages in sheep?
No, don't put ideas in his mind.
Listen, her dad's for Chris Flat Farm. She's not needing wages. It's just a wee extra luxury.
As a wee lunch money.
She's sorted. She's all good. Like, that's a great thing. There's no pressure there.
Oh, leave it chat the shit. So you get more sheep than you, Cammy?
Just much better sheep than
Well,
me.
better,
Much
posher
better
sheep
sheep.
than
He
you.
actually knows what he's doing. That's the difference.
Right, that's another thing as well.
That's the
That's
difference.
important.
Blackies in it. Blackies. Can't go wrong.
Aye. They were always just too scary. They're like, because Willie Young sheep are they're more manageable. They said they obey fences and things like that. Your blackies, they just
Yeah, blackies are blackies. Absolutely. But no, listen, I think it's been quite a whirlwind of. You don't mess about. You don't mess. No, we get straight into it. We got the setup. Take a bit of deciphering something because it's quite a bloody. I don't know.
I know.
If
it's
MD
too hard. I took the farm insurance, the new farm insurance lady around recently, and she couldn't get her head around it at all.
Actually, pass. That'll do. Aye. I must admit. I mean, I'm listening intently, but it's still quite a like. Well, a lot of that went over my head there. I'm sure. There's one thing that I haven't done. What breed?
Oh, breed.
That's what I haven't done.
Irish Holstein Friesian. Irish because they're getting calf easier. They've been bred for a block calving system.
Okay.
Holstein Friesian because I supply Muller. I'm really paid on solids and paid on litres of milk.
Right. I'm quite surprised with that because that'd be quite a big cow. Is it
No,
not?
they're not big. They're smaller. Kind of Holstein Friesian.
As an Irish Holstein, a bit smaller.
Squarer.
Right. Because the only other person I really know that's doing that system that I can think of just now would be like Rory Christie.
Yeah, Rory's bigger into that.
Similar,
but he'll be more in a solids contract with Lactalis, so he might have more of a crossbred type cow.
He's a Frisian Jersey maybe, I think. So
Jerseys are really good for getting in calf again and a very sustainable cow. You know, Rory's got huge, big units, so there's a lot more cows, a lot more walking per unit. That's the reason why I've got 300 cows, because don't you walk just as far.
Yeah, rather than if you're, bigger blocks.
More cows, more walking.
Yeah, some man. No, listen, fascinating business, Wallace. I appreciate you're a busy man. Thank you for taking the time to come in and speak to us.
Yeah, thank
you
for having me.
Legend. And we're back out of that. Quite the man. Flat out.
I know.
Flat out. It's actually good on him. Wallace, thank you very much for coming in. in doing that, because I know you are flat out.
man.
So no, absolute bloody legend. And sorry for all the crap we were talking at the start. Like, we just started laughing after we cut to the podcast of the absolute nonsense we talk. Like, it's ridiculous. Save it for the Friday podcast.
I know we need to learn to.
Save it for the Friday podcast. Anyway, thank you very much again for all of you for watching. I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we're both
Fed by farmers.